Hi, I'm Mark Lapidos from the Fest For Beatles Fans, and you're watching Rabbi Doug.
We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug on your TV tonight.
But Daddy, I want to watch Monday Night Football.
Forget about Monday Night Football. There's no other thing we're going to watch on Monday but Rabbi Doug.
Yeah, Rabbi Doug on TV tonight. We're going to see Rabbi Doug. Oh, everybody talk about Doug.
Shalom and welcome to Taped with Rabbi Doug. We are here at the Hyatt Regency O'Hare for Beatlesfest 17, the Fest for Beatles Fans. And we have a lot of members of Weeklings who are here today with us, other great musicians, Mark Hudson as always. You won't want to miss this year's festival, so stay with us here on Taped with Rabbi Doug. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Just trying to keep the lights on. I'm trying to make the rent. Trying to keep my money, but I'm running all the spent. But I can't get enough of that dirty stuff. I want money. I need, yeah. Money. This is what I said. I'm gonna hop into my limousine. I'm gonna put on that ATM. I'm gonna walk the cash machine. You know the rich man sugar's coming. He always gets me down. All that crazy money, baby, takes me round the world. You know I can't get enough of that dirty stuff. I want money. You know I need.
I'm Mark Rivera, and you're watching Taped with Rabbi Doug. Peace and love.
We're here back on Taped with Rabbi Doug, and I am here with Leon Wildes and Michael Wildes. And Leon tells the inside story about the contested deportation case with John Lennon against the United States government, and he was the lawyer involved in that and wrote this book, John Lennon versus the USA, the inside story of the most bitterly contested and influential deportation case in United States history. Leon Wildes, welcome to the show. Baruch haba, as we say. Baruch haba. Shalom, Michael. You're an attorney also.
I manage Dad's practice. And I have a brother, and Dad has another son who's a rabbi in the Upper West Side of Manhattan. We're all Beatles fans and big fans of our father.
Very nice. Tell me, Leon, how did John Lennon get in touch with you first to hire you as a lawyer in this case? How did it come about? He probably had other smaller lawyers before you, I presume.
His agent contacted me, and his agent had an attorney who I had handled some cases for when he was in private practice. So I was taken to meet John and Yoko by the agent. That was Alan Klein.
Was he in custody at this time, or did you go to their apartment?
No, I went to their apartment. He wasn't under any pressure at that time, except the pressure that Yoko imagined he might come under. She was very sensitive to those things. We discussed the case. First, I met with Yoko and in great detail discussed the case, and then I met with him while he made us tea.
And of course, Dad had no idea who John and Yoko were, and only found out later that evening when he came home to Mama, Leila Shalom. What did she say to you?
That's right. She said, your office called and said you won't be home tonight because you're meeting some heavyweight potential clients. And I said, yes. She said, who were they? I said, Jack Lemmon and Yoko Moto, or something like that.
So he went the second day, still didn't know who they were, took a cab home, and had a conversation with a long-haired music major who pulled over to the side and said, who's John Lennon, and gave him a good vort, in a sense.
I asked him who John Lennon was. I wanted to be able to learn what I could immediately. He said John Lennon is the greatest musician who ever lived at any time. Well, I said, that's kind of a tall audit. Well, he said, who do you think is the greatest musician? Oh, I said, Ludwig van Beethoven. And,
well, you know the Beatles roll over Beethoven. There you go.
Dad never had a pair of jeans until he met John.
Really?
He had come from Yeshiva University, went into law school, was president of the Immigration Lawyers Association, and eventually learned and developed and bought his first pair of dungarees, as he still calls them, and evolved into a big Beatles fan.
Were you involved in any immigration cases for any other well-known famous people that we would recognize also?
Yes.
Really?
Joe Cocker.
And a lot of Pele.
We represent Pele with Mrs. Sinead O'Connor.
Sure.
We represent Mrs. Trump now and her family and a few other people.
Very nice, very nice.
Big splits for
Well, I can't tell you what a pleasure it is to have you on the show. I wish you much success with your book, John Lennon versus the USA. Leon Wildes, a pleasure. I can only wish you a big gesund, be gesund and secure. Should have good health for 120 years. Michael, a pleasure to meet you. Take good care of your father. It's a splits for us. Stay with us here on Taped with Rabbi Doug. Leon Wildes and Michael Wildes will be back. We're here on Taped with Rabbi Doug, and I'm here with Neil Innes. He is of the Ruttles and an incredible writer and musician and the leader of the band, and he's still out here making music today. Tell me something. Do you travel around representing the Ruttles still nowadays, and your music from the Ruttles outside of Beatlesfest?
We do the odd tour when we can get together, and whoever's going to be in it, and it's very loose, and we don't try and do it like the movie, because that's no, we don't put wigs on and color coats.
Sure.
It's not that kind of show. The movie did all that, but people have been very kind, and they enjoy the songs, and we love to play them. So anyhow we can play them, we play them.
What do you think was the aura around the Ruttles when there are so many people who tried to kind of do the same thing, kind of copies the sound of the Beatles with their own music, kind of be a parody of them, make fun of them in some ways. And how did the Ruttles make it?
Well, the Ruttles happened by accident. No, you couldn't plan it. Because Eric and I made this little clip for the BBC, and they wanted to put the Beatles back together again. On Saturday Night Live, they had a running gag about getting them back together again. They invited George, offered him $3,000 if he could get them back. And they invited Eric because he said he could do the Beatles for $300.
I heard that Paul was in John's apartment watching that day when that $3,000 was offered. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
But you know that, well, the funny gag was, he said, here you are, George, all this is, George says, what, all of this for me? He said, no, you have to share it with the others. Maybe you don't have to tell Ringo. So if they saw that, they must have wet themselves.
So funny. Well, listen, it's a pleasure. Neil Innes of the Ruttles here on Taped with Rabbi Doug. Stay with us, and we're going to continue on here at the Fest.
A 1, 2, 3, 4. The kind of guy who likes to play big brother, but I've just seen your date outside his room. On the over, I saw you both going on that so please hold my hand. Hold my hand, yeah. Hold my hand, yeah. Hold my hand and I'll see you home. I want to tell you I'm in love with you completely. I'd like to take you far away from here discreetly. Our love is meant to be, and darling, it's a certainty. Please hold my hand. Hold my hand, yeah, yeah. Hold my hand, yeah, yeah. Hold my hand and I'll see you home. Hold my hand, yeah, yeah. Hold my hand, yeah, yeah. Hold my hand and I'll see you home. Rock on. Well, there's the one that started it all. The one from the film in black and white. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I feel good, I feel bad, I feel happy, I feel sad. I might love, I must be in love. I feel rich, I feel poor, I'm in doubt, I feel sure. I love, I must be in love. Anytime of the day I can see her face when I close my eyes. She's a dream. She is real, and explain how I feel, about love, I must be in love. Anytime of the day I can see her face when I close my eyes. I'm not dead, are alive, and my poor heart says goodbye. Lord, I must be in love. How are you? I feel good, I feel good, I feel bad, I feel bad, I feel happy, I feel sad, I feel sad. My Lord, I must be in love. I must be in love. I must be in love. I must be in love.
Hello, I'm Neil Innes and you're watching Rabbi Doug. Well, obviously not at the moment, this is me, Neil Innes, but you will be watching Rabbi Doug.
All right, we're here on Taped with Rabbi Doug, and I am here with former Wings drummer Steve Holley. Welcome to the show, Steve.
Nice
Steve,
to be here.
I posted a picture with the four of you last night here from Wings, and you had so many people make notes and said, I love Steve Holley, I love Steve Holley. You're still popular, and it's great to have you here in Chicago.
Well, it's a pleasure to be in Chicago.
Tell me something, are you still out playing with bands and stuff?
Yeah, I am. I'm playing with Ian Hunter. We're in the midst of a world tour.
Very nice.
It's my 30th year with him, and I also just got back from Japan with Danny Korchmar. So very active, yeah.
Well, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you for coming to Chicago and being on Taped with Rabbi Doug here at the festival. This is Steve Holley, drummer from Wings, here in Chicago at the Fest. Stay with us. We're back here on Taped with Rabbi Doug, and I am here with Kenneth Womack. He is the author of Maximum Value, The Life of Beatles producer George Martin, the early years 1926 to 1966. Now, this volume is only until 1966 as far as a biography about George Martin. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct. It goes through George's 40th birthday in January 1966. They've just finished Rubber Soul, and the whole world is awaiting it.
Wow. Now tell me, you are a college dean, a university dean.
I am.
And you want to tell people where you're at?
Sure. I'm at Monmouth University on the Jersey Shore in West Long Branch, New Jersey.
Well-known university, Monmouth University. And here you are writing books about the Beatles and George Martin. Tell me, how did you do your research? What inspired you to do your research, and why George Martin?
You bet. I've been writing about the Beatles for many years, and at this point, I wanted to be in that privileged position where the Beatles would show up with these great new songs, Paperback Writer, In My Life, you name it. George Martin, more than anyone else in the universe, had that great privilege of being the person who received those songs. So I wanted to write about him because I found it to be a unique place, and I wanted to know the story of the guy who got to have that experience.
Now, his son has taken his place in much of his career today. George Martin is gone. Do you plan on doing the rest of his career and more novels about George?
You bet. The second volume will be called Sound Pictures, and it will pick up with Revolver and Sgt. Pepper. Those kinds of works where he was trying to create image through sound. I absolutely, Volume 2 will be debuted here at the Fest next year.
Great. Well, we look forward to seeing you next year. Thank you so much. This is Ken Womack, the author of Maximum Volume, The Life of Beatles producer George Martin, 1926 to 1966. Looking forward to Volume 2 in the future. Stay with us.
I'm Bruce Spizer, and you're watching Rabbi Doug. Thank you.
We're here back again on Taped with Rabbi Doug at the Fest for Beatles Fans 17 with Bruce Spizer, our good friend who's been on our show many times before. His new book, The Beatles and Sgt. Pepper, A Fan's Perspective, is just out along with all his other books. Tell me, what made you want to think about writing about particularly Sgt. Pepper? You have cataloged the Beatles. You've done all those things. How did you focus on Sgt. Pepper? Is it because it was the 50th year coming up? And what do you mean? What do you mean by a fan's perspective? What would our viewers find in a fan's perspective, their perspective, by looking and reading the book?
Well, I first did an essay on what it was like for Americans when Sgt. Pepper came out, and because I viewed Pepper as a communal experience, I noticed that I never used the pronoun I in my essay. It was always we. when the album came out, we did this, we did that. And I realized that I probably didn't have a unique feeling about this. So on my website, I asked for people to send me their personal recollections about Sgt. Pepper. And I had friends that sought out other people. And I was getting these really touching stories from people, some of them how it meant so much to me because I first listened to the album with my mother and things like that, and my father and I bonded over when I'm 64, and these wonderful stories. And I noticed there was a pattern of things. And then also I began to notice that musicians, of course, are Beatle fans. And all of a sudden, I start getting a couple of fan recollections from musicians like Stephen Bischoff, or Barry Winslow is with the Royal Guardsmen of Snoopy fame. And I thought, well, I know musicians are Beatle fans. Why not seek out a few musicians? So Denny Sywell, who drummed with Paul and Wings, had a really nice little thing to say about Ringo's drumming. And then also, Peter Tork of the Monkees wrote a really heartfelt piece, Pat Denizio of the Smithereens. And the one that really impressed me as the most fascinating was Billy Joel. Billy called me up and he had very clear recollections of when he first heard Sgt. Pepper. I won't spoil it for the viewers because I think it's something you need to read yourself. But the great thing about it was it would have been an incredible story had it been from anyone else. But being from Billy Joel, of course, made it really special.
It's so cool. Well, I gotta tell you, your books are all enthralling, and when you pick it up and look at it, you can't put it down because there's always more to find. So I'm sure this book is just as exciting.
Absolutely.
This is it, Beatles and Sgt. Pepper, fans' perspective. Bruce Spizer, so happy to be on the show with you again.
Glad to be back.
And you've been at how many festivals now in the Chicago area?
I started doing the Chicago Fest almost 20 years ago.
20 years.
Haven't missed once.
No, you haven't. No, you haven't.
It's a lot of fun. A lot of great people in Chicago and the surrounding areas, and my friends who come from all over the world.
And everyone comes to see you. They look forward to seeing you.
Well,
we look forward to seeing you next year at the 42nd Chicago Festival. Stay with us here on Taped with Rabbi Doug, Bruce Spizer.
All right. Thank you.
I'm Steve Holley, and you're watching Rabbi Doug.
Welcome back. We're here on Taped with Rabbi Doug, and I'm here with John Merjave. He is the guitar player and singer of Liverpool.
Yes.
And the Weeklings.
The Weeklings. Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you, Mr. Rocky Weekling. Thank you very much. A 1, 2, 3, 4. Shoulder and the world that I had.
that's it for part one here at the Fest for Beatles Fans 17 at the Hyatt Regency O'Hare. You won't want to miss part two next time with more music and more people here at the festival. Remember, if you want to check out our website, it's www.tvrabbi.com, where you can also see former festivals on the web. And if you want to email us or anybody at the fest, the email address is info@tvrabbi.com. I have their email addresses. We'll forward it to them, and I'm sure they'll get back to you. Don't want to miss next time, so stay with us here on Taped with Rabbi Doug. Shalom, everyone.
Once again, the Weeklings.
This has been a Taped with Rabbi Doug production.